No, ma'am.
Now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right. Then see, as I have discussed with you earlier, the immunoglobulin which we are having in our plasma, which is having four individual polypeptide chains. That is why many senior members and the doctors and many majority of the scientists, they have suggest us to have a rich food of food rich with the protein. This is the reason behind that. See, there are several types of heavy chains we are having. Among them, five are we discuss about five chains. Based on that heavy chain type, immunoglobulins are classified into five types. Okay, this is about the basic structure of an immunoglobulin. See here there is a heavy chain now. Here, this is the center portion of this both heavy chains are combined with two individual disulfide bonds. These disulfide bonds are known as interdisulfide bonds. If any bond is bonding two individuals, that is called inter. If any bond within the molecule, if it is connecting, that is called intra. Intra means inside, inter means in between, right? See, the upper part of the end of the immunoglobulin structure is ending with the amino functional group. The lower part is ends with the carboxyl group. Then coming to next slide. Then this is invented by Rodney Porter. This is also I have already discussed with you. Then see, these are disulfide bonds. This is FC region. This is called FC region. This area is FAB site. Okay, this is FC. See, there are some SH bonds also are there. Then this is antibody structure. Already these all concepts once we was gone through. Again, I'm repeating you. See, these are domains. The structure of an antibody is having. See, this is about heavy chain. A heavy chain is having two CH1, CH2, CH3, CH4 like this. There is some equal parts partitions in the structure of that heavy chain. Then coming to light chain, there is one variable region and another constant region is available in the light chain. See, coming to whereas in the same as light chain, heavy chain is also having one variable region and remaining are constant regions. We denote that variable region as VH, constant regions are a CH, right? Then coming to hinge region, this is the proline residues, which is a very flexible. Then hinge found in IgG, IgA, and IgD antibodies. Proline resistant are target for proteolytic digestion. Papain and pepsin, rich in cysteine residues. Okay, IgM and IgE are lack of hinge region. There is no hinge region in this kind of immunoglobulins, whereas IgM is a heavy molecular weight having which is having a heavy molecular weight, which is also having the five subunits. Those all five subunits are joined together with the help of a J chain. That is another way that is called as joining chain, right? See, coming to IgE, IgE is ready to participate in the allergic reactions. Whenever we swallow the dust, somebody they face some problem like dust allergy or brinjal allergy like that. That is in that people the IgE may get highly activated. Then they instead having extra CH4 domains. Then this is about the antigen binding site. Then coming to the entire basic structure of this immunoglobulin. Then enzymatic digestion of an antibodies, digestion with the papain yields three fragments, two identical FAB and one FC region is there. FAB because fragment that is antigen binding site. FC because found to crystalline in cold storage. Pepsin digestion is also takes place here. No FC region digested entirely. Sorry, mercaptoethanol reduction takes place in alkalization showed in the structure of an antibody. Then coming to the next slide, sequencing of heavy chain. Likewise, we sequence a heavy chain. See, 100 to 110 amino acid terminus are there in the highly variable region of the heavy chain. See, what is variable? It's called a constant. Why it is known as a variable is there is various types of immunoglobulins in the structure of. Okay, uh, there is a difference between constant and a variable region. In the region of constant region, a single type of amino acids are constructed an entire chain. In case of a variable region, there is a lot of variation in the structures of amino acids. That's why it is called as a variable region. See, among heavy chain, there are three constant parts or regions. One variable region is there in the structure. In case of a light chain, 50% of the chain is constant and remaining is a variable. Okay, in this due to that variability, due to that variation or changes occurs in the amino acids and protein structures, we we always feel a specificity to bind with an antigen. That is the reason behind that. That is also named as a diversity of an antibody. Okay, based on the structural variation, we we are having the diversity of an antibody. Okay, then coming to next slide.
Ma'am,
Yes.
again we are not receiving the slides, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sharing. So maybe there is a internet fluctuation here. That's why the problem is arising. Is it sharing now? Is it sharing now, students? Are you receiving my slide now? No,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay. This is of the basics of an antibody. Then depends upon the types of heavy chains. There are different types of antibodies. We will discuss about all those antibodies in our next class. See, coming to suppose any antigen is enters into the body, then what will happen is there are epitopes. Epitopes means binding sites of an antigen. Each and every antigen is having binding sites. Those binding sites are specific for the binding with our antibody. Okay, so there is a specificity for each and every antibody based on that only. See here, see in this picture, when you inject an antigen to the mice, okay, there are four individual epitopes are present on the surface area of the antigen. Those all are called as epitopes. Epitope is nothing but binding site of an antibody. Then if you isolate from a spleen, then you hybridize, then slowly if you select those hybridomas and then you cultivate and you produce a clones, then you will get a monoclonal antibodies for the treatment of the many of the diseases. For COVID-19 also, many scientists are tried for the treatment of the COVID-19 with the monoclonal antibodies. Okay, that is about the monoclonal antibodies. Then in our coming classes, we'll discuss about different classes of an antibody as well as monoclonal antibodies also. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in our next class again.